Hello, and welcome back to the 100 game analysis of A20 Guardian on Slay the Spire Downfall. Our last run was a win. Swapped into Runic Dome, got Dead Branch and got a pretty easy victory off of that. We used a bunch of things really, but mostly Crystal Wards and Scatterbrain, making copies of itself that exhaust. Generated enough stuff for us to win there, as well as just a bunch of really powerful cards. Giga Beam coming in, Gem Cannon from a Transform, couple Exploit Gems with more Crystal Wards. Yeah, overall just a very strong run. Had some turn 1 kills too with the bottled Ancient Power Plus and the Mutagenic Strength. So yeah, we were able to go through Act 2 and 3 in less than an hour. Less than the time it took us to go through Act 1, actually, which was funny, looking in retrospect. A lot of these relics didn't matter just because of how powerful we were. So yeah, moving on to run number 4 today. We're going to see what new experience we have in store. Alright, another Crystal Ward. Okay. I've noticed that the previous 3 runs have had Twin Slams with Dexterity and Ward Gems inside them, as in the Dex Ward combo for the 14 block, since the Dex scales up twice for both the wards. And it's made me start to wonder whether this is going to be a theme every time we get those two. There's always a chance that we get a Tourmaline instead to go with the Aquamarine. But yeah, it seems like it's a pretty easy combo to hit most of the time. So I imagine we'll see it in the majority of the runs going forward. But that's just a prediction. We'll have to see if that actually pans out. Let's see, our Act Boss today, Defect 1. This is an interesting one. One that uses Dark Orbs and puts Voids into your draw pile, on top of your draw pile specifically. This is actually a boss that I advocate boss swapping for on every character, since it is very much like a Hexaghost fight, in some ways a lot scarier. So in a way you do need to prepare for that too, but in a different way than Ironclad. Ironclad requires that you do a lot of front-loaded damage and kill it very quickly. Meanwhile, Defect 1 requires that you scale up a lot more. So I like boss swapping because it has the potential to give you an extra energy, which can mitigate the downside of the voids. But also, even if you don't hit the 4th energy, like we just did here with Tiny Bowler Hat, usually by the end of Act 1, you can make use of the scaling power that it provides over the course of a run to get enough power in order to defeat it. It is another kind of act-defining boss that you need to prepare for, above pretty much everything else. Alright, seeing a couple 3 elite paths here. I got this one on the right, either of these two, and then this, and then that, with the campfire there. There's also one down the middle with the Burning Elite and 2 campfires. And then on the left, we have a 2 elite or a 2 campfire. Neither of those look particularly amazing. So as far as flex pathing goes, we might have to... Oh, I'm liking this path going down through here, instead of going here. And depending on what we get from our card wards and how powerful the Tiny Bowler Hat is feeling, we could go right to the Elite, or we could go left to get a 2nd campfire before we hit the Burning Elite. I think we will be trying to go for this act. Looking back on... I think it was the previous video where we got the Burning Elite in Act 1 as well. Getting the green key before Act 2 is actually really powerful, because the extra block right before the boss, or just before the boss in general, and before Act 2, is really nice for survival purposes. Okay. This is why... well, this is not this is why, but like, Twin Slam being upgraded feels really good here. And we block for 11. Wow. I guess we can just skip then. the rest of this turn. I think it does 35. Yeah. Easy. You may notice a little bit that if the recording may feel a little bit different today. In order to lag bust even further, I've set my my game to 30 FPS. Again, like the quality of these videos, I'm gonna try and keep them as good as possible, but I don't want to put so much effort into absolutely every aspect. This is mostly to just get the gameplay recorded in a watchable fashion, rather than in a high quality one. Yeah. Let's see. Incinerate, Ruby, charge up. So the thing about Tiny Bowler Hat is that a lot of the boss cards are kind of... It's a little weird. I haven't really gotten a good feel for what exactly they're able to do. They're not exactly front-load cards. The vast majority of them have effects over multiple turns, but they're also not great at scaling either. They're kind of a mix between the two. Perhaps that means they're a good elite killer. I guess we'll have to find out. But I do think that in most fights that we would ordinarily need front load for, which would make me take the Incinerate, we don't need as much. Again, I'm not taking the Ruby. I think charge up would be the only thing worth considering here. The 8 block and 1 strength on the following turn is good for defect. And the 8 block isn't terrible either. Also, the strength does scale with one of the boss cards, the Hexa Ghosts. I almost said hexagons. Stuttering over my words there a little bit. The Hexaghost one, which says in 3 turns you deal 6 damage 6 times 6 damage to 6 random enemies. And it scales with strength, so this would actually work with that. And then there's also a couple of attack cards which would scale with it once. Then there is the boss card that the Guardian has, but Guardian can't get that. You can't get your own boss cards. The question is, do we need the charge up? Overall, I feel like this card is a bit weak, so I am more inclined to skip here than to actually need it. And I think with the power that this is giving me right now, I can afford to do that in the early stages of the game, and even for the purposes of the boss, so I'm going to skip. As I stated in the last video, I am also going to try to go a little bit faster than I'm used to ordinarily, just to kind of keep things moving as best I can. That helps a lot. The AoE card, I'm not liking any of these either. We could do Tourmaline, like I said, for the Twin Slam. I'd rather find a Dex Gem, though. That's not great either. Just keep going. In my opinion, we might be able to beat a Gremlin Knob with just this. I'm not 100% sure. But it does seem possible. Or at the very least, we can find, like, maybe 1 damage card and be good. Hexaburn is not going to do anything, unfortunately. Merchant runs away too fast. If he stuck around 1 more turn, I'd be able to do it. Like, if maybe there was a boss card that stunned. That would be interesting. But, there isn't. 6 damage in 1 turn. Too late. Orb Walk is sometimes a card that I like taking for Defect 1. Basic Protocol, I think, is meh this early. Sometimes the Brace is useful. Vent Steam, I think, is worth taking. It's a good scaling card. Good front load card, too. It's good for both. It's not perfect, of course, but it's there. Second Crystal Ward, I don't think is worth. We could just take the Prepare Crush. It's another very strong card, giving you 10 block this turn, and then also the additional benefit next turn. We could also remove a card, give ourselves a little bit more defense. But I think going into Elites, this will keep us super duper safe. So I'm going to just take that. I could afford this. I'm going to move on, though. Yeah, I'm noticing that this is making me very confident in this early in Act 1. I gotta be careful, but do think, I do think I'm correct about it being powerful. I just have to correctly anticipate when it's going to start to fall off. Um, Not feeling any of these either. We're looking for some powerful enabler cards. We're looking for scaling cards, mostly. We have this to handle most of our elite stuff. I'm going to go right here. I guess I could have played a defend first to put a strike into stasis. That wouldn't have been a bad idea. Next turn, I believe we are going to wake up. Fence team? Nope. I'll take the 2 strength, thanks. Atama beam. Forgot to play Vents team first, but that's okay. It would have actually been a good thing to not do that, because now I'm going to take 10 damage instead of 4, but whatever. I'm running a little bit low on sleep. Unfortunately, it's not something I could control. I would go back to sleep if I could. This is one of those cards I was talking about that I would like to take. But yeah, I'm running a little bit low on sleep, so if I make mistakes like that, just gotta power through them like I always do. Supply Scroll is a pretty good card. Or a pretty good relic. The Supply Scroll card that you get from this gives 4 random, assortment of 4 random shivs and wards. Which can be very useful with the right support. Like for example, a Stasis Engine would be a rare card that works with it. There's also Ancient Power, like we had in last run. It gives us the temporary dexterity and strength. So yeah, we'll just do that. Gain the Pick of Rhapsody. Pick of Rhapsody gives us the ability to mine for gems at campsites, which means which sometimes is a good thing. If I have a lot of empty slots, it can be good to fill stuff. I'm looking for some very specific things for these two, though. Like a Dex Ward for this. Sorry, a Dex Gem. Gosh, I keep saying that, Dex Ward. Dex and Ward for this could be a thing, too. But also, like, Citrine Quartz for energy and draw. Or 2 Strength Gems would be the obvious. So I could fight the Gremlins. I got Giga Beam to handle them, so I think I just do this anyway. I am going to take a little damage here, 25. Maybe it was worth using Gambler's Brew to look for Giga Beam. Then again, if I miss, this draw is pretty bad. You know what? I'm going to take only 5. I think that seems like a better idea. I got both the beams. Amazing. Okay. So I could also just mine 3 times here. I would only get 1 random gem instead of 2, like I would get at the campfires. But of course, the upside is that I don't have to wait as long in order to get the upsides. Maybe it is worth doing now in order to prepare for later. Yeah, I'd rather not spend campsites to do that. So let's do this one at a time. We got a Sapphire. That's the lowest roll you could get, I think. I didn't really get a chance to talk about this before, but Brace 3 on a gem is really, really underwhelming. The only times that I've found it to be useful is on cards that already have Brace on them, so that they have a higher chance of going into defensive. Makes them less useless as a card, at least for the Brace part. The other parts are usually okay. Let's get another one. Amethyst. Talked about the possibility of putting that in Twin Slam the one other time whenever it was up against the Dexterity Gem, but again, I think Dexterity Gem is better. And we got a third Sapphire, another Sapphire. Okay, so not the greatest outcome here. Uh, maybe we put these both into Vent's team just to get rid of them. Maybe we find a better card. Then again, I don't really want to take too many cards if I can afford it because I have Tiny Bowler Hat. I think it's still better to have done this than to have used it at campfires. The benefit would have taken so many times and used up so many of the campfires that it would not have been worth it, I don't think. So now the question is, do I do what I was planning to do with these and try to high roll gems for them, or do I just put these in now? Best case scenario, if I put these in now, is later I can find the Grim Forge event for Guardian. Guardian's Grim Forge event would let me extract gems from each of these and destroy them so that I can make space for better ones. Or it could allow me to take the gems out and put them into a different card. That would be really good. Right now what I'm seeing, though, is to maybe put the Sapphires into the Vent Steam and then the Amethyst and Twin Slam. Again, I was really hoping for something better, but it may just be better to socket these for the time being. Alternatively, since I am about to go into an Elite fight, I could follow the 15 card rule, especially since our first Elite was Lagavulin and our second Elite could be Sentries, and Super Sentries would definitely... Super Sentries would want me to have 15 cards. Although, I guess with this doing 36, plus 8 would be 44, and we could kill Sentries pretty easily that way. I think against Gremlin Knob we do just have to get rid of a couple of these. So I am going to put both of these into Vent's team. We're going to hope that it becomes useful at some point. Maybe we can find some card that braces 4 or more. As far as I know, there's only one card that braces exactly 4, and that's Priming Shot Plus. But there are a few that brace 8 that I'm aware of. Oh, no, that's actually incorrect. There is also Shield Charger, which braces 4 every turn it's in stasis. And do we put this into Twin Slam? There's not very many better places for it, honestly. -2 strength versus a ward, which is 3 block. It's less block as a blocking card, unless there's a multi-hit incoming. And also, wards have dexterity to scale, especially with the green key being broken. So I think I am just going to put this in here, and we'll just deal with it for the time being. I'm going to upgrade Giga Beam. $48. Out of 87. That puts him down to 40, and then I immediately go to the next... Question is it worth playing Giga Beam immediately? Well, we know it's worth playing Study the Spire, right? Unless I want to gamble it away with Gambler's Brew. One of the many tough decisions. On turn 3, we have the possibility of Vent Steam and Curl Up to send us into defensive mode. We do also have Supply Scroll. We would need 39 plus 4 is 43 damage. With taking Vulnerable into account, I believe that is 29. Without, like, if we have the Vulnerable on him, then it's 29 base damage. So we would need 7, 7, 6, and 3 shivs. That would be 32. Which would take us to 48. We can't really do better than that. It is a bit risky. We do also have Prepare Crush that we could use instead. We would be losing out on, this is 14 plus 6 is 20, so we'd be losing out on 28 damage this turn for the possibility of doing whatever next turn. That could include Prepare Crush, that could include going into defensive earlier, and then maybe we redraw into Giga Beam. Yeah, I have to say, I think that unfortunately it is the safer play to just play the 2 strikes. We don't want to be We don't want to be stunned next turn, because we still have a little bit of setup that's useful to us, such as such as these, actually. Slime Crush is 35, that would be 52, leaving it at 9, which is perfect lethal with a strike. So yeah, definitely worth not playing the Giga Beam last turn. Chrono Boost gains 1 strength for every 12th card you play. Very weak card. Got a Juzu Bracelet. Now we're offered a very early Time Sifter yet again, with very little stasis support. Even if I had taken the earlier charge up, it wouldn't be very good. I think this early we do not want stuff that has a ton of setup. This gives us enough pseudo front load, I guess I'm going to call it, to ignore having things that are not accelerating us super fast. Giga Beam was a really good card to cover that kind of thing, so we don't really need to set up a large stasis combo. Don't really want either of these either, so we're going to skip. Upgrade again, I think. There's still no shop for the rest of the act unless this becomes one, so I am going to risk the Break Emerald. The chance of shops is usually pretty low. I'm not exactly sure just how low, but I know it is low. We're going to want this for defect. We did just fight Knob, but I think this is still worth for Lagavulin because we have a solution for sentries. Is this 49? No, it's not. We're 1 short. So we want to block this turn. I'm going to play both of these because I'm confident that we have the block for it. I'm going to keep the Crystal Ward out, I think, just in case. This guy attacking for 13 can be pretty annoying, so having that extra block could be very nice. Not going to use Curl Up. Goodbye. This is one of those cards that I think would have been okay with the Brace Gem. But then again, I don't really need it. I have already taken 1 block card. I have Twin Slam as well. Not a fan of Temporal Strike. Already saw Refracted Beam. I guess since we're still moving forward here, I want to mention something about Refracted Beam real quick. Refracted Beam is interesting because it's a card that, like Searing Blow, can be upgraded multiple times, but its upgrade is that it gives it 1 additional hit. So its upgrade doesn't technically get stronger every time you use it, but it can be very good to upgrade multiple times just for the strength dump that Guardian sometimes needs. So often it's a little bit different than what Ironclad is used to, where you take the card and then spend every campfire upgrading it. Usually it's a little bit more controlled. You upgrade it a few times, and then focus on your other upgrades again. Garnet would have been interesting in Twin Slam, but again, I don't think we need it. We have Vent Steam Plus. Fragmented Gem is Fragmented Gem. It's kind of low impact. Ancient Power. I mentioned this could be good with Supply Scroll, and it would give us our 15th card. We've been skipping a lot of cards so far, so I think that the chances of us getting a card that we really want is really low. And even then, we'd only be shuffling 1 card back into our discard after the shuffle, so I'm going to take this. We're going to go here. Ooh, Dead Adventurer. Oh, and it's Sentries? Okay, let's go. I'm not caught off guard, I'm ready. Let's kill these guys. GG. Strike Dummy, ooh. Okay, so the fact that we still have 4 strikes is really good then. Or at least a little bit better. Polybeam could have been interesting. It's really good with the Akabeko, but I don't think it's good enough here. We also have Ancient Power, I guess. We'd have to draw them on the right turns, of course. I could see it being good, though. Maybe this is good to take and then support with Strength gain later. We have Giga Beam for even more strength dump, as well as Vent Steam. So yeah, I could see this being good. On turn 1, it could be a really good burst tool as well. I think this is the kind of card that we can build into, so I'm going to take it. I feel like it's just over the line of what we would want to take. Essence of Steel? Over Gambler's Brew? Sometimes potion choices are really difficult. I would like a Shield Charger, I think. Shield Charger is really good scaling defense. Or at least consistent. Getting it into stasis might be a little difficult on 3 energy. But usually you can sacrifice at least 1 turn for it. It's definitely worth the HP on the remaining turns. This is, in my opinion, one of the strongest commons in Guardian's kit. I wonder how many cards I would say that about. Maybe at some point I could do a synopsis of his card pool, and then maybe after a certain number of runs, once we get comfortable and settled into the whole Guardian thing. Essence of Steel is not usually a potion I would consider. It's usually very low impact. For plated armor is like just barely low enough to wear out very quickly. You might be able to see this if you put it in the Sentries fight or the Lagavulin fight. They all attack for multiples of 5 and 10, which means that Essence of Steel is going to lose a stack every time they attack, unless you have some way to weaken them or debuff their strength. We do actually in this case. Against Defect 1, after the first few turns, Defect 1 cycles between the Sunder turn, the Doom and Gloom Plus turn, and the Strike turn. The first cycle of the Strike turn also has a what do you call it? Core Surge, which is the artifact attack. So it could actually be useful. It would mean I wouldn't have to spend so many turns defending. We do also have Shield Charger, but that's more for the big turns anyway. The question is, how useful is Gamble Brew? Obviously in the late game it's very useful because you need to get to your powers quickly, or in some cases your front load. We don't really have that too much yet. We have Giga Beam, which I guess is good enough for Act 2 fights. You really want to get to Giga Beam fast in some cases, so that can be a way out in a bad situation. So I think I am going to keep this. So it would be between Power Potion and Essence of Steel. Power Potion is very utility-oriented on Guardian specifically. There have been times where it's felt like a dead potion, often. And especially since we haven't taken that many cards yet, it can be very easy to find 3 powers that don't synergize with our deck pretty much at all. The protocols might be the ones that I value the most, but at that point I'm just taking a block power. Meanwhile, this is guaranteed. So I think that it's the right play to take the Essence of Steel over the Power Potion, even though we are going into a boss. And then we'll just use this whenever we feel like we need to. Alright, okay, so Sunder is going off on turn 3, which means that this will give us 11 block 2 turns from now and have 1 more charge for the turn immediately after, which is the Strike and Core Surge turn, which is important because those turns, that turn also hits for a decent amount. So we are just going to put this in stasis. Do I use a Strike now or do I wait? Waiting being for Akabeko and Polybeam. That way we only waste 1 hit and the rest of the hits would go through easily. There's only a 5 in 12 chance? That's like, what are the odds of that? It's like 41.6% chance. It's a decent chance, but I don't think it's high enough to wait for. If we miss, then we're just going to end up attacking with strikes anyway. And if we hit Ancient Power, even more so with like Twin Slam or whatever. So I think we just get rid of the buffer now. They're going to have 2 buffer stacks, actually, by the time we get to the next part, so get rid of one now, get rid of the next one the next turn. Maybe. Yeah, check this out. Polybeam. Polybeam Ancient Power. So now the question is, do we curl up or do we strike? If we curl up, we will be able to go into defensive either next turn or the turn after. It may not be necessary. I have block cards coming up for the 24 damage that we will be dealt. We won't need to go into defensive with Vent Steam. And we were passing up on an extra 4 damage. I think we are going to do this. If we can delay going into defensive, that's a good thing, because it will be more prepared for later turns. Last Stand. Ooh. We could save that. Once we're below half HP, gain 2 strength. But then again, if everything goes well, we're not going to be going below half HP anyway. So we could just use that now to gain strength. Yeah. Yeah, give me the strength. Keep an eye on the timer. That'll give us damage. I guess I could have used Essence of Steel there, but you know what? I don't think we need it. So on the off chance that we don't get a potion from this fight, we'll have another one for next act. This is going to save us so few HP, considering that we heal up all of it at the start of the next act. I just realized we have Eternal Feather. With the Campfire starting next act and the 3/4 heal, we're going to be perfectly fine, I think. So now the next question. The next question is, do we Vent Steam, Twin Slam, or Vent Steam Slime Crush? And I think, yeah, this puts us into defensive immediately, so we full block this. Which means we just, we do this first, so we get another strength from Time Eater's boss card, and then we do that. The 30 FPS is making Guardian get so much airtime whenever he jumps. The turn after this is another Sunder, so we don't want to use Giga Beam, or else we're going to take another 24. But I guess we have to ask ourselves, does that matter? As long as we've survived the fight, we are healing up pretty much to full. If we take 24, it puts us at 21. 21 would mean we heal up by 3/4 of 51. That's 38. So we'd have 13 left, I think. 13 left. This heals for 3 every 5 cards in our deck, so that's 9. So we'd be 4 HP away from full. So we lose 4 HP, huh? Can we beat this without playing Giga Beam? What is our next turn? We have 48 damage coming from this, 24 from this. That's 72. This is 16, so that's 88. Yeah, we have plenty of damage without taking the extra 4. Assuming it's actually 4 here. It might not be. It might be like 1 or 2. Or we win now, because we have Hexaburn. Incredible. Thank you, Strike Dummy. I believe you were responsible for that. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be switching out Essence of Steel for Block Potion. That's perfectly fine. 2 good options here. Ancient Construct could be good if we had temp buffs, which we do actually. Ancient Power. It goes for permanent strength. Giving us an artifact every turn is a little bit overkill, though. It could be something to build into, but on 3 energy, it's very awkward. You need to have a very, very good reason to take Ancient Construct, which sometimes you do. It's not always so rare, but it's a very slow power. Spheric Shield and Exploit Gems. I think between the 2, Spheric Shield is just a very obvious choice. It's a lot of front-loaded block. It's basically impervious. Exploit Gems has the potential to become okay later when we put gems in it, but even then it's a little weak. Probably still deserving of boss card, of rare card status, but I believe that is the better pick. Okay, very interesting. You're given the option of taking a 4 energy or the Black Star. We do have a lot of good relics, actually, or a few good relics. Supply Scroll, Akabeko, Strike Dummy, all very good for elite hunting, as well as Tiny Bowler Hat. We have the green key to mitigate damage even more. It would be a question of whether or not we need the energy. Another thing is Slaver's Collar, giving us energy in elite fights. On 3 energy, you have to be very careful about taking this going into Act 2, or even in Act 3 if you still have 3 energy, I guess. Because you're basically saying, I can survive without a boss relic in hallway fights going into next act. This is kind of saying the same thing, actually, because you don't get a relic until you beat your first elite. So this is even more delayed power. This would just be giving us more power in the long run. And then Runic Dome is Runic Dome. We had that one last run. There were definitely a few times where I felt like having 4 energy would be useful, so that's not really a question. The question is, can we get away without having 4 energy? Which is a lot harder to answer. We also have to beat Act 4 with less energy, and we'd have to be gaining something like... we'd have to be gaining all the extra relics from Black Star. Slaver's Collar could be perfectly fine if we survive. This is a tough choice, although it does definitely feel like the safer option to take Runic Dome. When in doubt, taking energy is usually the better play. Also, with cards like Shield Charger and Giga Beam, like Giga Beam's cool and all, but like securing a kill with it is super important when you don't have debuff reduction. So getting the 4th energy for either Vent Steam or Ancient Power, this gives 16 extra damage to this because it affects it 4 times, and this multiplies it by 1.5. So yeah, getting that 4th energy is super important in order to be able to use it properly, even with Akabeko, because it scales with Strength 4 times and not Vigor. Unfortunately, I think this does mean we don't take Black Star. And it does lean me away from Slaver's Collar. Although, usually elites are the fights that matter the most. Especially with our potions here, we can get a lot luckier than usual. And also with Spheric Shield, Prepare Crush, giving us extra block. Going into Act 2, block cards are super important. I've said this multiple times. So maybe we could get away with going into elite fights just with the 4 energy. Securing the kill with 4 energy, like I said, if we do that in just elite fights, we might be able to get away with that. Runic Dome's downside, I said in last episode, is a lot lower when playing downfall mode because of all the bosses being completely deterministic. That includes Niao, by the way. I think I neglected to say that before. Niao always does the buff, then the single attack, then the multi-attack, in that order. With the first turn, of course, being the debuff instead of a buff. I am kind of feeling like I can use the Slaver's Collar here. Like, Runic Dome downside for something like Gremlin Leader, or a couple other fights that are really bad to have intense hidden. Like Nemesis, actually, I think I didn't mention that one before, but Nemesis can be really bad because of the 45 attack, or they could be just giving you burns. Reptimancer can sometimes be really bad. The first couple turns are deterministic completely, but after that, sometimes it can be a complete toss-up whether she's summoning or doing her 30 plus attack. So I think avoiding this downside may actually be worth going on 3 energy, because we have the resources to survive hallway fights between the potions and the couple of block cards we have. So this is going to be my choice this time. I thought about this recently, but with boss choices like those, sometimes it can be really interesting to go back and make a duplicate save file, and then some other time going back to that run and choosing something else. I did this once with a run on Guardian, of course, where my boss choice was essentially between Snecko Eye or Black Star, which seemed like polar opposites in terms of what you need, right? Snecko Eye can have some downside, but it's also very, very powerful in both the short term and the long term, at least going into Act 2. Meanwhile, Black Star takes a while to get started, but I did it. The first time I played, I took Snecko Eye, and I made a duplicate save file to go play it again later, and I took Black Star, and I ended up winning both runs. So it's just a matter of figuring out what time I need to make a save file, if at all. Like, perhaps it could be... I'm not sure how interested people would be in that, in making an extra save file for you guys to play if you want to make a different decision, like at that turn. I guess better safe than sorry, and then you can leave me your feedback. If you don't really care, then that's fine. No harm done. But if you do care, you can go and play that save file again. So I think I'm going to take a moment, go and make a duplicate of the save file. If I leave the screen, then the recording stops automatically. That's just how the Windows 10 Xbox Game Bar capture software works. At least whenever I'm in full screen, it'll stop the recording because it's like, oh, you left. It's not very smart. At least it records pretty quality videos. So yeah, I'm gonna stop for now. I'll be back in just a second. Alright. Got our Slaver's Collar. We've got our deck. In real life, I've taken a break of like almost a day. Some other stuff came up that I wanted and had to do, so just decided to take a refresher. I'm feeling a lot more fresh than I was yesterday, so let's get into the rest of this run. I did think about my idea of putting the save file in the description, or a link to one rather, like a Dropbox or something. And I realized that you can probably just play through the seed yourself and do the same decisions I do up until the point you want to. I think I'll still put it in the description so you don't have to do that if you want to play the seed from where I put it. But I did also realize that it could be very useful for cases where I lose. I can put the save file right on the fight that I lost. I'm still trying to figure out a path at the same time I'm talking here. 3 campfire, 2 elites on the right? Okay. So, I think I'm going to do that, in case someone sees a misplay that I made in a losing fight, and decides that they want to try a different line or something. That could be very useful, very informative, and a good learning experience. Spheric Shield blocks for 25, which I think is still enough for Act 2. But maybe we go for a little bit extra brace as well as block. Brace 30 means that we still only need 20 brace to go into defensive the second time. Meanwhile, 20 means that we need 30, so that takes a bit longer. Could also use Shield Charger. Ancient Power is a bit more of a long-term investment. Can also do Polybeam for an extra hit. That might be, I think that might be the most useful in the short term. I really want to upgrade all of these, but we have plenty of campfires coming up, so I'm going to take this that gives me the most immediate benefit. Twin Slam still worth the most here. Blocking for 18? Yeah, with the strength down, it's 18. I really wish it would stop hitting Zender's Bane. But I guess it can't be helped. Ooh, that's nice. We want to break the block. I wonder. It's down to 5 plated armor. Nah, we're not going to get to see it today. That will happen another time. I think this is better than Gambler's Brew. This is just guaranteed block versus possibly being a good roll. Charge Core. Still have all my strikes and defense. I am coming up to a shop, so that'll change soon, but in theory. So extra draw could be good. Although it does take some time, and it's a kind of a weak card on its own, going into Act 2. You don't really want to give yourself a draw where you're vulnerable. So scaling draw is a little bit suspicious to take. We're going to skip. It's 11 block. Do I still try to save 1 HP here? I think I do, because I still have Akabeko, which means that Giga Beam could kill. Especially if I go into defensive and whittle him down a little bit. Yeah, that's enough. I'll put Vent Steam on him, or the middle one. And then we'll see if that does something. 48, so 24 on the middle guy. That takes 2 strength here, gets even higher. It's close. These are going to be 3 each, so 6 plus 28 is more than enough. We did have to make sure that we killed that first. So there's that emerald I was hoping to put into Twin Slam earlier, but the pick had other plans. Sentry Blast is actually a really good card. Going between itself and Sentry Wave for every other turn weaken. Also a little bit extra brace can't hurt. I think I will be taking this. Weaken every other turn is really good. I don't really want to use up Akabeko on a single hit if I can avoid it, but we really only have one thing that benefits from it multiple times. So let's not lose out on 35 damage turn 1. Or I guess 23 technically, since 8 of that was Akabeko. Okay, we got Giga Beam, that's cool. Oh, and we got Your Mind, goodbye block. Awesome. I could skip next turn for Giga Beam. I'd be losing how much? I'd have to lose 60 damage? No, 51. I'd have to lose 51. That's possible, actually. Yeah, I'm going to be losing out on more than 51, I think. Since I have Prepare Crush giving me the attack next turn. Oh, I'd also be losing out on the Supply Scroll. Because that always comes in on turn 3, regardless of whether or not you skip the turn. Also, Chrono Boost. Oh, I put the ship in the discard. Oh well. Okay, we didn't quite hit 12. We could have. Okay, 1 strength just in time for Polybeam. And even more vulnerable and weak that we don't need. That was underwhelming. But overall we did a lot of damage. So let's get our card reward. First thought is that none of these are great. Suspension might be cool for the 3 energy fights, but I think we're still already doing fine. Recover. Recover is kind of weird for me. It's definitely adjacent. It's a card that's adjacent to Hologram on defect because it can bring back a card from your discard pile. The problem is, of course, that it puts it into stasis, which means that you have to wait to get it back if you want any benefit, unless it's one of those cards like Shield Charger that likes being in stasis. The other Discord member that I mentioned before that does the temporary debuff scaling was talking about this yesterday, actually, how they like Recover. So I guess we'll have to see if this card pans out at some point. I don't think I'm going to be taking it now, though. I will look for opportunities in the future to take cards that I'm not 100% sure about. I believe I kind of said something similar to that when the series first started. I'm going to be looking for ways to take a little bit of unorthodox plays. Alright, I think we have Spheric Shield, Prepare Crush, Twin Slam, Shield Charger. Maybe we get rid of a Defend here. And we have 2 defensive potions and Strike Dummy. Yeah, if there's ever a time to get rid of a Defend, it's now. Even though I do have the Green Heart Blessing. That unfortunately does mean we can't afford Toolbox. Maybe I should have thought about that a little bit more. Sometimes Toolbox can be worth a card remove. I don't really have any other cards I want here, though. This could be interesting. Get a second source of Weaken so that you have it every turn. I don't think that's 100% necessary, especially not to buy for 87 gold. So we're gonna move on. $17. Yeah, I guess this is a good time to go into defensive. And then if next turn they attack, which I think is a 2 and 3 chance, or maybe 3 and 4. Okay, well, we missed. And we missed Spheric Shield too, okay. Not that that was likely or anything, just something I wanted to happen. I think we're okay though. Okay, cool. Oh, Repulsor's here. Okay. Our boss is Hermit. Okay, well, we're definitely going to need this at some point. So I'm going to just take it now. If you're new to the series, I take Repulsor even though it doesn't have any synergies. Simply because losing out on card draw with my personal playstyle of Guardian is it's a pretty bad thing. So this turns out pretty well, especially for the Niao fight, even without Hermit. Our next upgrade. I don't know if Polybeam has been useful so far, but, you know, it's been there. Spheric Shield has still been blocking for enough. Shield Charger and Ancient Power both are longer term things. We still have a block potion, and now we have a speed potion too. I think we're going to do Ancient Power. I'm not 100% sure which is correct there. It might not matter. We have another campfire coming up. Tiny chest? No. We have like 2 question marks here, and then we'd get another one later. Act 3 events are pretty good too, so like... Do I destroy this now? I think I'm gonna wait for another... I'm gonna wait for the next shop, I think. Because I'm completely healthy. Max HP only matters if you get down that low. So keeping the gold for now is better, at least until I kill the merchant. Then it doesn't matter. Then I have to break the keys at some point, so I might as well spend them. Yeah, we'll do Shield Charger now. get an event. Remove all strikes, receive 5 bites. I don't think so. We're doing perfectly fine on HP. We're full HP, so we actually lose a bunch of stuff now. We have strike dummy. We only have 4 strikes. No thanks. I could recall now. That might be a smart idea. We'll upgrade Spirit Shield later if we need to. It's honestly a pretty low priority upgrade. We still have a decent amount of brace for now. Ooh, this turn. Yeah, I'm gonna just, just pop the block potion. I'm pretty sure this just wins. I guess those 2 beam cards have a synergy, the Atama Beam and the Giga Beam, because, you know, aside from the fact that they're both tons of AoE that can end fights, the next turn energy down doesn't matter if you don't have a next turn. Future plans. We have Shield Charger, Curl Up, Sentry Blast. Although with Future Plans, Shield Charger can just go into stasis. Yeah, alright. I really like Future Plans as a scaling tool. Any card that we don't want to play, we can just put into stasis for later, and it's free. It's a pretty good deal. I'm gonna use this to save 7 health, I think, with 1 potion. I just keep it, with this much health especially. And a, you know, Spirit Shield. Oh yeah, I'm just realizing. Now that I've upgraded this, I can play it after Giga Beam to remove the debuff. If I absolutely need to. It's just a possibility, not really a likely scenario, you know. I think I am gonna do this. Three by 4. I didn't have enough damage with Giga Beam, by the way. Notice that it's doing 44, which means it would be doing 66. I would have had to save. I would have had to not play Twin Slam to have enough energy, but then I wouldn't have had enough damage. So worry not. Yeah, I'm fine with doing this. One other thing I don't think I mentioned was that apparently multiple people are having trouble with lag on Mod the Spire in general, so it's not just a me thing. I thought it was because I've had the problem since episode 1, but I guess it was just coincidence. So it looks like it may get patched at some point. But for now, as long as we're not having major lag issues, it's fine. The game might just look a little bit slow. Do we take another Ancient Power to upgrade? With Future Plans, it gets better. I can save it for a turn where it would be a lot more beneficial. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. Might be a little on the weak side, but I think there's enough plays for it to be good. Blank card. Fuck it. If this plays Giga Beam, this plays Giga Beam. That's just how it's gonna go. I think we can find ways around it if it happens. That's mainly why I took it. I don't just send random things like that. This is 22. Oh wow, I have so much. Because what is it called? I just got it. It was Ancient Power. Surprisingly easy fight. I do like Armor's Tincture over the Speed Pot. Don't need any of these. The one bad thing about this is that it eats my Akabeko sometimes, but, you know, I don't mind. Not really. Do I save Crystal Ward? You know what? Yeah. I'm going to save Crystal Ward for next turn. Just in case I get a bad draw. Okay, we got a really, really good draw. I could do this instead of Prepare Crush, but I think this is better. Okay, I can save Crystal Ward another turn. Goodbye debuffs. Goodbye Snecko. Another Repulsor? Yeah, I think 2 is reasonable, actually. Over Garnet and another Polybeam, I think it's still perfectly fine. We've been doing really well on damage so far. Oh wow, we got the Repulsor played. Amazing. I don't think that means anything amazing here. Because, oh. I kind of was thinking about Twin Slam in my mind when I started talking, but I was just talking about Repulsor. Yeah, this thing is useless this fight. Except maybe for, like, the one turn that we draw, like, Sender's Bane. But that's pretty much whatever. I don't really want to become vulnerable. So I'm not going to play the Sentry Blast. I'm deciding I'm not going to do that. Giving up Weaken, but a lot of this fight is about just controlling what he does. So we're just going to control what he does. Eat my strength just like you did the first time. Ancient Power is really good this turn. Seven and 5 is 12. So if I play Strike, it goes down to 12. It's at 19 right now. Oh, that's not bad, actually. So I take 1 instead of, what? 4? Yeah. So much damage. We want Giga Beam to stay in place so the next time I draw it, I win the fight. And he's dead. Flex Potion's cool. I like our potions, though. Another Giga Beam? I wouldn't hate it. Compile Package is also here. Can be good for getting us another Spirit Shield. More Stasis stuff. It can have a Giga Beam. Resilient Plate's also really good with our build. Yeah, Compile Package sometimes is just, like, really strong. I think I'm going to take it again. We're going to see if it inflates our statistics later. Energy options, huh? We took Slaver's Collar. That paid off pretty well. Our deck was very strong. And 4 energy was fine for elite fights. I think taking a 5th energy... Ooh. With 2 repulsors, we could maybe take Battery. It's a little weird in the Niao fight because of all the curses that we're already trying to exhaust, but it's not until the second draw that it happens. Busted Crown could also be perfectly fine. Yeah, we're not really looking for anything extra here, are we? We're already doing very fine with everything. Let's double check that actually. We've been doing a lot of burst damage with Ancient Power, a little bit of scaling with it. It's been doing a lot of damage for us so far. We have plenty of defense with Shield Charger, Spheric Shield, Prepare Crush, Twin Slam. We got future plans for some stuff. We got Vent Steam for a little bit extra scaling as well. On both sides, actually. The brace is minimal, but the vulnerable is incredible. We have Compile Package for anything else we need. Sentry Blast does a little bit of damage and block with a Weaken. I think out of the two, our damage system is a little bit worse, but yeah, I do feel like we've been doing so much damage so far that we shouldn't be afraid. I am just looking a little bit harder at that because of our first experience with Hermit 2 that one time where we ran out of damage. I think I can do this though. We will see if I'm correct. You know, Coffee Dripper was also there, not needing to rest. But it's always nice to have like a backup just in case. Reptimancer and Nemesis can hit really hard if you get unlucky. So being able to rest in the late game is super important. The late game boss gauntlet especially is important to be healthy for. At least in the base game. Maybe it's not as much for downfall bosses. We have all our keys. When I hit a 3-leaf path, there's one on the left and one on the right. They both have shops, but the left path has like no campfires. Okay, we'll go right then. I'm gonna just do this now. I know I talked about like saving the gold, but we have one shop left. So we gotta kill now or never. Future plans over Compile Package. Now, I think we do this first. We can still end fights relatively fast. Ooh, Polybeam with Akabeko, thank you. Okay, so there's an interesting thing about certain things like Blank Card or Mayhem. They're like technically real-time things, which is strange in a turn-based game. Which means I think if I played Ancient Power fast enough, I would have been able to play that before Blank Card played Polybeam, and then it would have gotten the extra 4 strength for that attack. As you know, as tempted as I am to abuse that bug, I don't think I'm going to for this series. I don't think that would be. I don't think that falls within the realm of things that are fair. There may be other bugs that I think are fair, or perhaps more accurately, things that I can't really find a good resolution for. Like in the Hermit 2 fight, you can't really stop the fact that Necronomicon isn't working properly. So, okay, so this is going to be... I don't want to take damage here, but I guess it doesn't matter if I can just kill. I guess it doesn't matter if I have Eternal Feather, actually. I don't mind taking the damage. Alright, goodbye. By the way, this counts as 1 stack per Broken Tooth? Really? I mean, yes. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Broken Tooth gives me a strength for every elite I beat. I didn't go over that before. Bronze Idol also gives me positive effects for statuses. I didn't realize that I had that when I took Busted Crown. I could have taken Makeshift Battery then, and then been able to use the slimes for draw 2. I think all 3 of those were technically correct choices. I think that we're powerful enough that we're going to win this. Horncleat's amazing. Card removal. I think I'm going to remove another defend. Like I said, our defense is stronger than our offense right now, so I don't mind removing another defend. As ironic as it is that Guardian is a defensive character, he doesn't really need the defense. Silent is also a very defensive character, but her defense are a pretty integral part of her kit. At least sometimes. Sometimes you don't need it, and a lot of the times in the early game you do need the extra damage from your strikes to kill things. At least if you want to go for the normal strategy. 4 times 4 is 16, that means 80... No. 72? That wouldn't kill this? I could use Dupe Pod to kill it now. What are the odds of me winning the rest of this fight quickly enough? Next turn we have Form Cleat. We also have Construction Form, Spheric Shield, Compile Package. Okay, we don't have to use this on Giga Beam. Although we didn't get a potion from our first fight, so our potion chance is actually like 50-50. I think it's still correct to not do it though. Yeah, and again, I don't really mind taking the damage here. 11 damage, we'll heal that up pretty easily. This does not kill. That does not block. Alright, I guess we're using Construction Form for defense this turn. That's fine. Okay, this is perfect. Let's see what the Bio Package gives us. Ancient Power. Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay. And we got a mango out of it, so that's cool too. Quartz? Yeah, like, it's a free card. I don't have anything to socket it in, but I could find one later. I have to go left to take the elite? Okay. I would like another event. Act 3 fights take a long time, most of the time. So, you know, sometimes it feels like a slog, having to stick with it. But, you know, could be worse. Overload Plus. Card draw is cool, and it says plus on it, so it's only a 1-turn draw down for next turn. Yeah, okay. Man, this Busted Crown's really paying off. Really paying out with the cards it's still giving me. Uh, 48? And then Polybeam kills, in theory, plus Sentry Blast. Plus Orb Support. Yeah, we're good. Thank you, Compile Package. Okay, we don't need that one. And yeah, look, we're up to 91 health again. Like, all the HP that we lost earlier doesn't matter. Ancient Power versus Future Plans. Interesting question. I think we still want Future Plans first. Because any time that we don't want to use Ancient Power, we can just save it for another turn. We don't need to just use it immediately for the permanent buffs. Yeah, Brass Tax gives me 2 Metallicize, as you can see there. Future Plans can also put Construction Form in stasis. How much do I block right now? I got 2 block plus 4 plus 4. It's 10 minus And then this is -4 is 9. So okay, so we do full block without using Spheric Shield. Which means I think we use future plans to put Construction Form in stasis. We just use our our Twin Slam to block here. And thankfully the Ethereal does not go off first. Oh wow, this turn. Okay. It's gonna be a lot of damage. $28 times 5. I did say I was kind of low on damage in general. This might be one of those cases. But, could I stall long enough to win? Is the big question. I'm not 100% confident, so I'm going to use the dupe pot since we have so many slow stacks. It's going to be 28 and then maybe like 30 next. Yeah. So much damage. I think that was worth doing. Chrono Boost. I think now that we've done that, Giga Beam will be able to kill this turn. Giga Beam is 3, Strike is 1 each. Okay. Maybe I didn't have to. Oh well, no big deal. Don't need Armor Protocol. I need consistent damage over multiple turns. I have future plans though, so Sentry is not the greatest. This is bad too. I think we take this. And we're gonna put Orb Walk into stasis. Use Construction Form this turn. Put Shield Charger into stasis. Yeah, this is not difficult. Sometimes Transient is scary, depending on your build. Okay. Now I can just hit end turn twice because of Construction Form. I don't think there's a possibility to kill here, but I have 12 strength now. I guess we can try. We do have another Hexaburn coming up, and it's doing 18 damage times 6. I don't think it's going to be enough. Nah, it doesn't look like enough to me. How low do we get, though? Oh, it went up to 19 because of Destruction Form. Okay, 300. Maybe we don't have a damage problem. I forgot about Tiny Bowler Hat. It makes our deck look weaker than it actually is. Because the cards are not in our deck, I mean. Alright, I think Ancient Power gets the upgrade now. Repulsor upgrades are good, though. I think having this for Giga Beam, having both of them for Giga Beam, in fact, is a good idea. Here we go. It hits the front one. Okay. If it had hit Reptimancer, that would have been a bit sad. Okay, we take 1 damage here. Oh dear. We do need to kill that one next turn. We do have plenty of block for everything else. We don't have any temp buffs this turn. I guess Overload, if we really want to draw here. Construction Form is pretty good, though. Construction Form, Spheric Shield. This blocks for 26, so that's 53. that's... I think this is 50? Okay, so we don't even have to, kill this. We can just Instruction Form, Spirit Shield, Blast Stand, and we block for the first 3 enemies perfectly fine. Choose a card to place into stasis. Twin Slam? It's probably Twin Slam, just in case. And we lose a buffer. And now we gotta kill these guys. Should not be too bad. Yeah, those are 13 each. Oh, this is 18. Wow. And I'm just gonna use both of those. Maybe I should have kept Vent Steam. Although, I had no way of knowing that I was going to get 2 Prepare Crushes this turn. And my Giga Beam. Lol. Preserved Insect. I guess it's good. Still don't have any gem slots. Sockets, so skipping that. Another event. Okay. Winding Halls has also been changed. Now we get to pick what kind of question mark we get, other than a fight. We already killed the merchant, so it would just take us to a shop. Could just take a relic, or we could get another event. I think with our current setup, searching for an event is the best. We have 350 gold. We're gonna get like 75 more, including the Elite Next Act. So we'd be at like 400-ish. Maybe we remove a card, actually. At least. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I think removing a card is going to be more important than anything else. Membership card, going to be very good as well. Remove another defend. Like, these things just do not matter. Not thinking about any of the cards here. Body Slam is usually very powerful, but we're already very powerful, so adding another attack to the deck doesn't seem that great. Enlightenment, I have plenty of expensive cards, but I have 5 energy, so also not needed. Except maybe if I use Overload Plus? Maybe it is more useful than I'm giving it credit for. Spending 50 gold on it? I think we can make do without. I still want to buy another card removed next act. Alright, I think now we upgrade Repulsor. I think we are going to just miss out on the Spirit Shield upgrade. We could also upgrade Curl Up. I think getting these upgrades in is going to be really important, though. Just being able to play them with other expensive cards is going to be a good idea. Future plans. We could play Giga Beam here. Remove our stun debuff. Repulsor? Nah, we don't need Repulsor here. That was about half his health. By the way. Giga Beam was pretty good to play there. Alright, now here comes the big turn. Although we do have Weaken to worry about. And we didn't draw our other Ancient Power, so we can't remove it. I could put Supply Scroll in Stasis for next turn. Doesn't seem like a bad idea. We are also dealing with a big attack next turn. This is turn 3. So turn 4 is when Giant Hit starts attacking in Ascension 18. So playing Spirit Shield now is not a bad idea. Alright. Give me what I'm looking for, game. Yeah, Alright. Oh, Chrono Boost, is this going to give me 2 strength? Nope, not in time. Giga Beam is back? Okay. Yeah, we just have a kill here. We might not have even needed it. This sucks. Quantum Elixir. I can choose to put a bunch of cards into stasis. It's much more of an early game, or sort of thing. For like Lagavulin and Sentries, Act 1 boss. Now I have enough stasis to not need something like that. Prismatic Barrier. I could put this quartz into? Nah. Oh boy, here we go. I drew Ancient Power, we're good. Turn 2. I could have played one of those, I guess, to get rid of it. Yeah, if we would have been in trouble here. Yeah. That'll come back before we shuffle the deck, unless we choose to use Overload. We probably will, actually. As long as we haven't drawn it already. We have not. Maybe it just doesn't matter. Yeah, it's dead. First time Giga Beam was played with that. Don't need suspension either. Alright, let's go. Ooh, random card into stasis? Okay, I can live with that. Alright, let's get something good from Compile Package. Another bronze. We have 6 starting energy. Orb Walker with Orb Walk, though. Yeah, I like this better. Giga Beam's cool and all, but it's no Orb Walk Walker Claw. That being said, it's still very good. Oh, I can just use Incinerate this turn? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. We did just give Ironclad 15 block for next turn. Hopefully we'll be able to do a bunch of damage so that our Body Slam doesn't destroy us. Oh. Okay. So right now, Ancient Power... Let's see, we have 6 strength? Where did all that other strength come from? We got 1 strength from this. We got... Oh, right, we have Broken Tooth. Yeah, that'll do it. Broken Tooth, Ruby Heart Blessing, and the 1 strength from this, that's 6. So this puts us up to 14. This would normally be how much again? 7, so that's 21, but we're weak, so it's 15. This would normally be 9 plus 14 is 23, down to 17. 15 and 17 is 32. We have 26 block. So 87 minus 32 is 55. And we have 26 block. Okay, this should be close to enough, at least. Yeah. We full block by 7. Also, how did I do my math wrong? Oh, right, it was 32, not 22. I only subtracted 22. Ironclad has flame barrier, so we do have to be careful a little bit, but I think we will mostly be fine. Body Slam is coming back in next turn. I think Prepare Crush prepares us just as well as Spheric Shield. By the way, here, we're going to do a little trick here. Sentry Wave is not on the right turn. If we weaken him now, it doesn't matter. He's Body Slamming next turn. So we're going to put it into Stasis and sort of change which cycle it's on. It won't matter for the rest of the fight, but it will matter in the short term. I think next turn he will not be doing Body Slam again, and then the turn after he will be. So it was kind of important to do this. We're going to weaken, down to 48. We could also just play Construction Form. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, we're going to do that. Nine. Uh-oh, it's going to be more. Oh, never mind. It's less because we hit the, we killed the Bastion. So now he gets Demon Form instead of Barricade. Which kind of makes things easier. A little bit. Kind of doesn't. Oh, I'm out of stasis slots. Okay. Well, that's fine. We still want to kill in time. Weaken. I wonder if Giga Beam would have been enough there. I didn't really check. It's fine though. Kind of hard to block that. Ooh, that's really bad. Okay, it's not so bad. We drew Ancient Power, but he had Buffer, so that didn't really do anything good for us. We're gonna do Orb Walker again. If I'm not mistaken, Giga Beam only stacks the stun once. So what we could do is Giga Beam and then Ancient Power, and then we cleanse the entire debuff. This is 60 damage, this is 40. I guess it's 56 if we use Ancient Power. Yeah, you know what, I like doing the Walker Claw play better because I'm going to be able to play Curl Up, which means that we get both Orb Walk and Giga Beam. Into Stasis. Oh no, my health. I am still going to do this just so I can block the bomb next turn. Oh wow, it was exactly enough to block with Tungsten Rod. That's funny. But yeah, next turn we're going to be fully blocking the bomb, which means we keep both stacks of our Construction Form buffer. I guess we just use this turn to play Repulsors. Yeah, this isn't anything special this turn. Oh, three use stasis slots means that we don't get to keep the Sentry Beam, Sentry Wave. But that's okay, he has 3 artifacts, which really sucks to deal with. Which also means that Fence Team is pretty much useless. That's still fine. Let's do some damage. I guess it's not completely useless whenever I have cards that can strip the artifact. I'll put it into stasis, I guess. $100 damage. Yeah. How big is it now? 150. Yeah, that's how math works. Yeah, I don't think we have a damage problem. Granted, we have We've had Orb Walk the past few fights. But we now have Construction Form as well, which we're able to keep. So now we just gotta deal with curses in the draw pile. Play Repulsor? Nope, we play Vent Steam. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, that activated... wow, that activated Bewildered right off the bat. On the bright side, we can still play Giga Beam here. So we have that. Not the greatest turn 1 in history, but, you know, we'll be fine. Also going to go into defensive for another turn. Yeah, blank card has so many risks attached to it. So many problematic interactions with everything. But, you know, sometimes it's just how it is. Another Giga Beam? Yeah. Yeah, I would like that. Giga Beam is doing how much right now? We're no longer weak. We have 3 strength, so that's 40 plus 12 is 52. Which means that our Giga Beam with Vent Steam is doing 78. So we are good. And we might even be able to kill Defect here, if we get lucky. Would like to be able to use all of those. We're close. One more Shiv would have killed this turn, but that's fine. We kill anyway. Ah, right. We skipped the turn. That's okay. We have Construction Form. Gosh. Alright. Defect's getting buffer now, and he's getting a heal. Can we kill this thing already? Hey, come on. Thank you, Polybeam. Made it nice and easy. No. We've been stuck with Brace Gems the whole game. I'm not gonna do another one. Ooh, okay. Yeah, this is going to be better than a card remove here. I get to bottle Repulsor. That's too good to pass up. I can even take a 3rd Repulsor. And I might just do that. Maybe it's a little much. Maybe it's a little much. 2 should be just fine. In fact, we have a Ancient Potion, which I think we're going to use to replace this. More permanent, 5 strength this fight. I don't really have a good upgrade here, so I'm going to heal for the 16 HP we just lost. And let's win. Okay. Not like I was going to play it anyway. And we get the Polybeam. Oh, we just got Bag of Marbles, too. Yo, that's so much damage. Let's go. Alright, Neo, what have you got? Clawed, Icky, Aged, and Haunted. I'm just now realizing I didn't go over all of the Niall curses. Or all the Downfall curses, I guess. They're not Niall specific. I'll let you read them whenever we get back to them. Last Stand, hello. How are you doing? Let's get Compile Package in here, and then... Are we going to do Orb Walker again? We could also do Spheric, but Orb Walker just ends the fight so much faster. Alright, here we go. Oh, and the lag's back. Okay, so we got aged. It's fine. We'll be down on 1 energy next turn, but we'll still get the draw, in theory. Where's our other... Oh, right, with Bronze Idol, that's actually a good card. Oh well. So, Overload. We want Vent Steam, too, definitely. Last Stand. Remove that drawdown that we just got. We can get rid of Sentry Blast again. We're still doing perfectly fine. In terms of defense, do I need to play Curl Up? I don't really have the resources to go into defensive again, so I think we're just going to keep the brace as is. Move on. Looks like no, we won't be losing Giga Beam here, I don't think. Unless the game forces the order to be different this time. I can't play it because I don't have a debuff eviction thing. Yeah. Just like we did with Construction Form earlier, Ethereal cards can be put into stasis. Okay, so we're dealing with Hermit, and Defect, and Ironclad, which means that she gets Demon Form, 2 Buffer, and shuffles Curses into the draw pile. In theory, we are still perfectly okay, though. Giga Beam Overload? Still can't do that. She has Buffer Stack, so it doesn't do anything. Repair Crush doesn't do anything for us this turn either, so I'm just going to get rid of the Buffer Stacks, put Giga Beam back in stasis. We're going to keep waiting for another one to come back. Oh, we lose that. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. Okay, now we can go into defensive, which means I guess we lose 14... No, we lose 10 HP because of this. Fun fact, with Invincible, you can only take 10 damage during a turn, but any excess damage will still count for Brace with Guardian. It's a pretty broken combination. I get the feeling we're going to be using Giga Beam to win very soon. Oh. GG. Total of 17 strength at the end of that fight. I realized I said that I was going to let you read the curses, but I forgot. Sometimes it's very easy to tunnel vision into the fight you're currently in, so sorry about that. I'll go into the compendium for a minute, just to go over them real quick, and then we'll go to the post-game recap. Don't crash on me. Yeah, don't you dare. Okay, so real quick before we go back, I'll just show you these real quick. Curses, we've got Bewildered. When you play another card, muddle your hand and then discard this. Well, it's basically like Snecko Eye rerolls cards between 0 and 3. It has to change the costs. So if you have like an expensive card, like a 3 cost or a 2 cost, it will not cost 3 or 2 after rerolling, respectively. Flawed. At the end of your turn, transform all cards in hand to random status cards. Can be good sometimes, but is most often bad. Haunted is a much better version most of the time. When drawn, add Ethereal to all cards in your hand. You can't stop that one. You can stop this because you can play it. Same with this with 2 cost. Sometimes this is good too. All 3 of these are actually useful in their own ways sometimes. Icky, you gain a Slimed. It's like a 2 times Slimed. And there's one more, Aged. At the end of your turn, add a Void to the top of your draw pile. So yeah, it doesn't eat your energy the turn you draw it, but it does the next turn, and it eats 2 total draws. So it's kind of like a Super Void, kind of not, but overall very annoying curse. Alright. Recap. Act 1, let's see. Yeah, with the tiny bowler hat let us skip a bunch of cards early. We skipped floor 2's, we skipped floor 2, even though it had a charge off and incinerate, which both would have been okay. At least normally. Incinerate may be a little bit questionable. We can build into stasis. Floor 3 we skipped again, even though we were given another incinerate and a tourmaline. Tourmaline could have been okay with our twin slam, but I knew we could do better. We bought event steam because of the scaling potential. It turned out to be very important later on. Skipped here again, even though Walker Claw was there. That's usually a card I take early. We took Giga Beam because it's a super good card generally. Tiny Bowler Hat means we can be picky, so that is the kind of card you want to look for. I touched on this in one of the earlier episodes, that Giga Beam is one of those cards that's often looked over because of the downside. Don't do that. Take it. Take it if you need the AoE, and then work around it. You can. Yeah, and our Act 1 was just very, very strong. We took 1 card here. We got Supply Scroll. We did not fight Lagavulin in here, despite what that says. We fought Gremlins, and we got the pick. We got Juicer Bracelet and skipped again. We skipped again. We got Ancient Power that time. We got Polybeam. We got Shield Charger. So it looks like we got 5 cards. We got Vent Steam, we got Giga Beam, Polybeam, Shield Charger. Yeah, and then of course Ancient Power. So yeah, 15 cards before the boss. Very small deck, thanks to Tiny Bowler Hat. Kind of really cool swap. Very, very unique swap, and I haven't gotten that one honestly very often. I think it's become one of my favorites due to this run. We got Spirit Shield from here, and then for the rest of the game proceeded to just destroy everything. Pretty much every boss relic I think was usable. Act 1 was a little bit dubious. I think obviously Slaver's Collar did pay off. We were able to handle normal hallway fights pretty well, and the elite fights did need the 4 energy, I think. Maybe you could get away with it with a Black Star. We didn't lose very much HP the entire act, so maybe you could have spent more HP to get more relics. And then Busted Crown was perfectly fine. You could have taken either of the other 2. Yeah, overall very strong run. Not as free as, not feeling as boring as some of the earlier stuff, but still very strong. Yeah. What else is there here? Broken Tooth, getting us the 4 strength by the end of Act 3 to absolutely destroy both the bosses was insane. It's very much a snowball relic. It gives you no benefit as soon as you get it, which kind of sucks when it drops from an elite because, you know, I'd rather give 1 stack off the bat and then reset to 0 for next act. That'd be perfectly fine. I think that would be a lot more. I feel like that would be a lot less punishing to get as a relic, especially if you're like losing. Even something like what is it called? Impeccable Pecs, the thing that gives you temporary HP based on your strength. Even that gives you a starting bonus of 1 strength, just so you have something to work with. But yeah, Broken Tooth was still very strong. Membership card at the end let us buy another card remove, and the Bottled Tornado. Bottled Tornado is an uncommon relic, and at High Ascension, I think Ascension 16 is when the shops get more expensive. Ascension 16, uncommon relics become really expensive and are often not worth buying unless you get a really, really strong one. For your situation like that one was, they cost around like $275, which is, yeah, it's not worth it. For reference, I'm pretty sure that rare relics hover around the 330 or 325 spot, so they're only 50 gold less than an entire tier up. Meanwhile, common relics are like in the 160, 170 range. The proportions just don't line up. I guess another thing to keep in mind was the Akabeko early on, which happened in an earlier run too. Yeah, right here, the run that we lost helped us beat Act 1. Overall, very strong relic. Surprised that we're getting so many repeats like we are. This time, Strike Dummy was actually useful as well. And again, blank card, risky, but I decided to take it because I knew that we could work around it, and we could. We got especially lucky the times that we did get Giga Beam because we drew the Ancient Powers in the right turns. I wasn't 100% like banking on that, but I felt like even if we missed that, we'd still have plenty of opportunities to work around not being able to do anything next turn, like maybe going into defensive with the Spheric Shield, or using a potion, or something like that. Yeah, maybe that wouldn't have paid off most of the time. I do think that us drawing Ancient Power on turn 1 wasn't a mistake, or like an accident. I mean, with 2 of them, the odds go up quite a bit. Although I do think we got a bit lucky. Maybe this was an incorrect play for that. But then again, even if we missed completely and took a bunch of damage on turn 2, we'd probably survive. Just from the fact that we have a ton of HP, and also from Guardian going into defensive mode whenever it takes HP damage. So like the built-in defense is kind of fine. So yeah, I think that was fine to do. It was more just for entertainment purposes than actual strategy. Although I probably would have done it for my own entertainment as well. I did it here for my own entertainment, but also if I was doing this solo, I would have still done it. I think as far as like thinking for the future runs, I think I should have thought a little bit more about this boss reward. I kind of tunnel vision on Rusted Crown and didn't see the Coffee Dripper. I think overall it was still defensible to take this, even though we weren't losing much HP. I think having resting as a fallback was still very defensible, even though we had Eternal Feather. But yeah, honestly it was a very small consequence. All 3 of those would have been good. I forget what the other option was. It was between this and Coffee Dripper and some other energy relic. It doesn't matter, you just watched it, you'll know. The Quartz take was completely free. Yeah, I think I'm running out of things to talk about here. I guess the Prepare Crush early take, it's another one of those boss cards that like you just take very early. I guess it's another reason why you take an early shop. Maybe if you can delay it a few floors, it would be a good idea, because then you have enough gold even after being robbed to buy 100 gold card like Prepare Crush. Keeping your boss card options open. All right, that's enough talking about random stuff. That's going to be it from me. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll stick around for future ones. Leave me your thoughts. I would very much like more people to see this. So if you enjoyed this and you want other people to see it, go ahead and share it with them, whether in your Discords or with your friends or what have you. Or leave a comment on the video so the algorithm starts picking it up. Now that I've started putting out a few more videos, I think YouTube is starting to catch on. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.